As they say in PIHL hockey, let's do that PIHL hockey. Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the Ice Castle in Castle Shannon, Pennsylvania, where we are once again trackside for the 2024 St. Margaret Fall Face-Off Championship game between the Seneca Valley Raiders in white and the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils in dark blue. A north versus south battle once again after Seneca Valley prevailed over Upper St. Clair on St. Clair's home ice in the semifinal round. Mount Lebanon scoring late on the power play to defeat Franklin Regional, and so here we are, Seneca Valley trying to win their sixth one of these things all time, and first since 2016. Brian Mitchell, the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, trying to become the first South Hills team to win this tournament since Sidney Crosby's rookie year, and after both these teams scored 50 combined goals between the two of them going into this final contest, I think we could actually be in for a low-scoring affair based on how they played defensively.
Well, the old adage is that defense wins championships. We're going to find that out here today. I mean, if you talk about Seneca Valley, you look at their history and how they played, you know, very late. They've only given up 3 goals in this tournament so far, and we're talking about, 4 games that they played at this point. 3 goals in 4 games. Look on the opposite side. Mount Lebanon's done it with a balance in goal. 3 goaltenders. Each game that they played so far, 2 goals every single time. Somebody asked me before if you set the over-under on what? I believe that was my buddy Erman here. I said set it at 1, and I'm still taking the under. We're going to a shootout.
Oh, that's how last year's tournament ended, and Seneca Valley was on the wrong end of that shootout, which was won by Pine Richland in Harmerville. The Raiders looking to finish the job here in 2024 and end their preseason with a bang before the second quarter century of PIHL hockey starts for real in 2 weeks. Speaking of those Mount Lebanon goaltenders, Hayden Bike, 23 saves in the semifinal victory earlier tonight. It'll be either him, Vince Canella, who looked very good earlier in this tournament, or Gus Zentner. That's the goaltending trio for head coach Jeremy Church in his fourth full season of duty, for the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils.
It looks like it's going to be Canella. I got to cover him on Thursday night in the game against North Allegheny. Very solid side-to-side mover. He takes a lot of space up in that net, but don't be fooled. The 2 goals that North Allegheny got, one was a second opportunity. The other one was very, very, very tough angle that probably 90% of NHL goaltenders would have a hard time saving. So watch out for him. His glove is fast, but his side-to-side is faster.
And moments ago, we saw him being warmed up by teammates number 10, Griffin Krupp, and number 68, the Shaha Panthers prodigy, Xavier Bias, the leading scorer among Class AAA rookies last regular season. Krupp has 4 goals, 5 points. Coming into this game, Bias only has 3 points, which is very low for him, Mitch.
I believe I was just thinking about this about 10 seconds ago when we were talking about it in the pregame. Maybe the X-Man is the X-Factor in this game. If he gets hot and gets ready to go, maybe he's the one that's going to make the difference in this contest, because he's been real quiet so far.
He did have the game-winning assist on Parker Arlett's go-ahead goal late in the semifinal earlier tonight against Franklin Regional. For the Seneca Valley Raiders, warming up off to our right, number 33, Marshall Hewitt, the exciting junior forward who scored 8 goals last regular season, now is up to 5 goals, 7 points in the 24-25 preseason. And his power play goal in period 1 was all Seneca Valley needed, but just for good measure, they got a couple of empty netters from Hewitt and from Jimmy Murtha, who had a big game last regular season, coincidentally, in this building against Upper St. Clair. But Seneca Valley's a really healthy mix of offense and defense, and they have a new head coach, Brian Mitchell, a former Penguins Cup finalist as a player, Tyler Masiska, from the Seneca Valley class of 2010.
Yeah, I know. I was following along like everybody else was in the offseason when it came down to that. Anthony Rayco going over to the Central Catholic Vikings now. Of course, the new guy behind the bench for Seneca Valley. He looks like nothing's missed here. You talk about Seneca Valley. The history of this squad has been in their defense and goaltending, and it's not something that has changed over the time, at least I've been covering this game, which has probably been the last 10 years.
And Christopher Nichols got, to your point, his second shutout of the preseason against Upper St. Clair earlier tonight, making 27 saves. Matt Gilchrist, who made his varsity debut last season in this very rink, might get the start for the championship game. We'll have to wait and see, but Seneca Valley has only been scored upon 3 times. And in the last game, as big a factor as any, I think, Mitch, is the fact that they were 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. They shut down arguably the most menacing power play of the entire preseason.
It is not easy to stop Franklin Regional. I apologize. I was thinking the opposite game here. It is not easy for them with Upper St. Clair. Upper St. Clair has a dynamic offense, has a lot of puck movement, a lot of opportunities created whenever they're doing those things. And Seneca Valley, they're showing exactly why that defense and that stop first atmosphere, that they have, it just works.
And in a couple of moments, we'll have the opening face-off of the St. Margaret Fall Face-Off Final between the Seneca Valley Raiders, who ran the table in Division B, as in Badger Bob, and the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, winners of Division D, as in defensemen. And Austin McLean on public address will help us introduce these teams momentarily. And here he is. Thank you, Austin McLean, and thank you, Jeff Chimerson, Brian Mitchell. We know one half of this USA hockey crew for the championship game, and it's a man we believe in.
Oh, yeah, that is Todd Hendry. Nice little reference there. I told you in the pregame. Yes, it's Todd Hendry is one of our officials tonight, and on the other side.
And on the other side, who do we have, Brian Mitchell?
That's a good question. They don't give us the details in this. I do know who it is. I just can't. The name's striking me right now.
It's preseason for us too, folks.
Absolutely at home. I apologize for that. And he might actually be thankful that we don't say his name on the actual broadcast. Who knows by the end of this one. 17 minutes to go here in the first period, sir. Let's do this.
51 minutes of hockey and maybe more to decide a St. Margaret tournament champion. Seneca Valley, certainly a lot of experience playing in this championship round as a program. The Blue Devils trying to strike a rare blow for the South Hills after the other South Hills team in the Final Four was eliminated by the Raiders earlier tonight. And we are underway here as the Blue Devils move the puck from left to right on your TV, computer, or mobile device to begin the game. Bias near side into the Seneca Valley zone, and it's taken on the far boards by Liam Shin, who had 3 assists in the preseason opener for the Blue Devils. Shot pass out in front, And making the save for the Seneca Valley Raiders is their starting goaltender, Christopher Nichols, who is back in the cage after that 27-save shutout against Upper St. Clair. Seneca Valley offside. And a great first shift there by Shin. 18 points for Shin last year, but he was one of the top puck-moving forwards in PIHL Class 3A. 13 assists put him in the top 5 in the regular season in that category as a varsity newcomer. Bailey outletting it, picked off by Josh Lehman. Hard collision at center ice. Gwarek got the worst of that hit by Offerman, the erstwhile PIHL All-Star. Bailey backpedaling up to Morin. Morin up to center for John Soroka. Soroka, who's played travel hockey in Cleveland with the Junior Barons, elicits another save from Canella.
Yeah, sorry I had to leave for half a second there, sir. I went to try to find out who the other official is, and unfortunately nobody seemed to have an answer for me at the time. So it's been weird the last 2 years as the referees have started to take their names off the back of their jerseys. I don't know if that's a byproduct of the recent, things that have been going on with the officials and such, but it is something that we have watched on, and I'll have to keep an eye on going forward.
Well, we know Todd Hendry is out there, as
You can't miss
earlier
it.
noted. No, you cannot. Hewitt right off the faceoff, and that handcuffed Canella, but he hung on.
It's a nice little set play there for Seneca Valley, trying to get one up high on Canella. Didn't get too many high opportunities from North Allegheny, so maybe that's something they saw on the tape from last week.
Raiders win this faceoff, and they retreat inside their own blue line. Tyler Maxwell outletting for Hewitt. Hewitt over the stick of Soroka. Blue Devils unable to clear as it bounces in on Canella. To the boards it'll come now to Kyle Quigley. Mount Lebanon still unable to clear. Here's Hewitt on his backhand. Hewitt out in front, and that puck just rolled beyond the reach of Morin. Canella scrambling to get back in goal as Mount Lebanon will be content to, well, they're not going to ice this puck as Nichols had to make a play on it, and he does so up to Carter Hone. Raiders trying to complete a line change as Hewitt sends it deep into Mount Lebanon ice, and Canella gets run into Tyler Masiska here in the grand finale. Arlett having trouble clearing. It's cleaned up by Griffin Krupp. Krupp immediately checked by Cooper Hone up high. Brother Carter on the back end with Tyler Maxwell, the defensive pairing out here for the Raiders. Up to Riffy. Riffy left wing circle. Active stick by Lynham. Zach Lynham, that is. Brother of last year's Mount Lebanon netminder, Quinn Lynham. Krupp lost it to Hewitt. Hewitt in the corner. Lynham trying to ride him off that puck, but Hewitt protects it, and Hewitt still has it for the Raiders. Out in front to Hone. Hone on goal, and Canella just got a piece of that.
Good toe save by Canella.
Cross ice, it'll come to Maxwell. Maxwell from the edge of the right circle. Another loud save from Vince Canella. Carter Hone in the corner. This is a good shift here early in the period by Seneca Valley. Out in front to Cooper Hone. Cooper Hone on the doorstep to Hewitt. Hewitt makes his move, and Canella point blank makes the save on Marshall Hewitt. Five goals for Hewitt in the preseason. Lost that puck to Meyer. Maxwell retreating. Grant Volek trying to catch him up for Lebo. But it's flipped back to center, and with speed playing this puck is Gwarek. Gwarek near side for Hewitt. Those two unable to connect. Correction, that was Soroka leading the rush for the Raiders, and Soroka chases this puck to the near corner. Soroka, not too many dark blue jerseys in the way of that pass, but it's turned over to Seneca Valley. Morin on the off wing, backhander on goal. Canella the save, and Lehman clears the rebound. Morin, right circle. Trying to get around Arlett. And Arlett tries to ride him into the corner. Gwarek through traffic. Save made Canella.
One of the things that I noted.
Ran. Retreating from Mount Lebanon. From behind his own net, plays it out to Meyer. Meyer looking for Josh Lehman. Those two not quite in sync as Bailey takes it defensively for the Raiders. Around the boards for Carter Hone. Volek with it. Up top and work near side intended for Tran, stolen by Soroka. Turned over to the Blue Devils. Quigley for Volek. Quigley in the corner, worked over by Bailey, played out in front. Lehman couldn't redirect it on goal. Hewitt working through the harassment of Volek. Volek has this puck now for Lebo. Glances off the goaltender stick of Christopher Nichols. Bailey from behind his own net. Cut off by Quigley. Lehman takes a beating behind the net from Seneca Valley's Bailey. And Hewitt has it for the Raiders. Marshall Hewitt, left wing side. Couldn't get it around Arlett. Arlett, a player we got to see in the Ice Castle Prospect League over the summer. Plays travel hockey for the Shaw Panthers. Hewitt over the attacking line one more time. From the right side, it dribbles in on Canella, and he will leave nothing to chance.
You talked a little bit earlier about some of these players playing a limited amount of time last year. That's indicative of these AAA teams. A lot of the teams in the upper division. Referee was probably looking towards the benches, or referee was looking into the zone.
That's a big break for Mount Lebanon, I think. Blue Devils win this face-off. 55 to go in the 4-on-4. Bouncing toward goal, Canella's save, and the rebound is cleared out of there just in the nick of time. Shin trying to go to Krupp up ahead, and Shin has it for the Blue Devils. Shin chased by Hewitt. Hewitt puts a stick into him. Shin protecting this puck for Lynham. Lynham couldn't take that pass, and Seneca Valley gets it the length of the ice, and this is going to be icing on the Raiders.
There's one thing that I'm noticing about these two teams is that there is one advantage from one side, and that is Mount Lebanon has the speed advantage. If they get that opportunity to be able to open up that pass, get that player across the center of the blue line and in one-on-one, anything can happen, but you got to have that opportunity. Seneca Valley has a handful of players that can catch you in that run.
Face-off in Seneca Valley ice. Shin pushes it to the boards. The Raiders try to get it back to center. Blue Devils keep it in momentarily. Carter Hone backpedaling. Outlets for Jimmy Murtha. Back to Hone. Hone, right wing side, 20 to go in the 4-on-4. Hone from an angle. That save made by Canella. Hone has his own rebound. To the corner, it'll come to Murtha. Murtha toward goal. Canella the save, and Canella has the rebound. Final minute of first period play. 8 seconds left in the 4-on-4, and then the Raiders get a truncated power play.
The one thing you're seeing right now out there is both teams keeping their heads in the game and not taking any type of slight on any of the hits that may have occurred, because it might come down to somebody taking that extra shot that's going to cost somebody a goal.
Correction, the Blue Devils are the ones with the truncated power play with 45 seconds left in the period. As the Raiders ice this puck legally, Lynham retrieves behind his own net. And Mount Lebanon might not even attempt a shot on this abbreviated power play. 5 seconds on the penalty clock before Hallen returns. Curta from the boards. He's tied up immediately by Carter Hone. And the Raiders are just trying to exit the area, but a point-blank shot by Offerman. Save made. Rebound. Oh, what a save there by Nichols. How did he get over to stop Ziolkowski? Carter Hone unable to clear the area. Curta has it one more time. 7 seconds left in the period. It's still out in front. Almost turned over to Meyer. Put wide of goal at the buzzer. So a frantic end of this first period, but still no score in the St. Margaret Fall face-off final between the Seneca Valley Raiders and Mount Lebanon Blue Devils. With Brian Mitchell, I'm Matt Popchuk. It's PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV, presented by Weight Loss Direct.
Them out of the crease, kept them out of the key. Everything's been coming from the outside.
Hewitt's shot partially obstructed. Looked like one of the Blue Devils, maybe Krupp, got a stick on that one as Liam Shin tries to clear the zone and does so with help from Xavier Bias. Hewitt back at center red, sends this puck around the boards. Eberhardt pays a physical price to make that play up to Shin. Redirected on goal by Hewitt, and Canella is in the right place at the right time.
You're going to get opportunities like that if you get a player in the slot, maybe get a stick on it, maybe get him a chance for a tip over top, maybe get a little screen in front, but you're not really getting that much time to get that opportunity, and you're rushing shots when you don't.
Xavier Bias, hard outlet pass intended for Krupp. Krupp catches up to it. Krupp stick checked by Gwarek. Liam Shin chasing behind the extended goal line. Seneca Valley unable to clear it. It comes to Krupp. Krupp from Bias.
He wasn't able to find the puck on the rebound. He caught that one on that one. Very well done by Canella.
Campbell, the Seneca Valley sophomore, 3 assists in the preseason. Plays for the Pittsburgh Icemen AAA travel program that Cam Radna, the former PIHL goaltender and Fox Chapel head coach, is involved with. And this puck covered by Canella one more time.
So one of the things I'm going to be working on in the regular season once it finally comes out, the head coaching carousel that occurred this offseason that's going to go around finding spaces in new places.
Fox Chapel indeed with a new bench boss this preseason, Ryan Lobig. We saw him with the Foxes earlier in this tournament as this puck is put in on the goaltender Nichols, and Nichols somehow kept that puck from completely crossing the goal line. The Blue Devils immediately thought they had scored, and Eberhard is reacting as such, pointing to the Seneca Valley net, but for now it'll remain a 1-0 game.
Todd Hendry was right over top of that crease, so I would have to trust on that one that didn't cross at the point.
Face off to Nichols' right. And it's sent all the way to the Mount Lebanon blue line where Arlett played it quickly. At center, Hewitt, near side Bailey. Bailey trying to center for Riffy. It goes by Riffy, and it's put in on Canella this time, and Canella is forced to make another save, this time on Cooperhone.
I'm going to venture to say that this is the first time Seneca Valley's been behind in a game in this tournament with their opportunities to shine in the senior circuit. I'll call it the senior circuit, the AAA level. It's going to be a fun year.
Hewitt toward goal, and it starts at the tail end of September, very beginning of October. September 30th, the first regular season games, and we'll be on the air October 3rd for 10-Band TV. More on that later. Another offensive zone face-off win for the Raiders as that shot from Bailey is blocked. Good gap control there by Quigley. Blue Devils turn it over, however, momentarily. And unable to keep that inside the zone was Soroka. Gwarek off a stick, no icing. Conrarty from his own end. Up now for Volek. Volek hit hard near side by Soroka. For a bigger guy, Volek went down pretty hard there. That was a good hit by John Soroka. Out it comes to Morin. Soroka, no worse for the wear, over the attacking line, threw it behind Bailey. Near side Quigley, back to center. Morin trying to re-enter the attacking zone for Seneca Valley. Hallen trapped along the boards. Griffin Krupp has the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils ahead of the Seneca Valley Raiders 1-0. Clean face-off win by Lebo. Offerman deep into Seneca Valley ice, and they're going to call icing on the Blue Devils.
They were across the red line when Offerman dumped that in. It was a good call by the officiating crew on that one.
It's interesting because I've seen the neighborhood play, if you will, given so many times, but it wasn't given there.
Mount Lebanon, a lot of their offense is derived from their defensive line. So a lot of their shots come from there, their setups from their back end. Seneca Valley hasn't given them that opportunity in this game, so that might be what they need to start working towards trying to get there. But Seneca Valley, they just need to get that opportunity for themselves to get back in this game.
Zach Lynham in some discomfort as he took a shot off his skate shorthanded. The Raiders not shy about pressing as we are back to 5-a-side, and icing is called against the Blue Devils.
Lynham looks good heading back to the bench, so he should be all right to go. You talked in the pregame, a lot of the returning players for Mount Lebanon this year on that defensive side. But look at their actual classes. There are a lot of them juniors. A lot of that defensive corps is just in their junior year this year. So there's another year to grow.
The Blue Devils, as we said earlier, they had a lot of signature wins last year, and they were a team that showed on its best day it could play with any team in the 3A classification. And their window of opportunity perhaps starting to reopen after some down years with that program. Maxwell inside the Mount Lebanon zone. Caden Lane from his own blue line, chased by Morin. Eberhardt gets it deep for the Blue Devils. From an angle, Meyer finds middle but not mesh, and Nichols has to make a save on the follow-up from Liam Shin.
Yeah, you said that about the...
Caden Lane, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. The Blue Devils, but you realize the last couple of years you had the powerhouses. You had your Pine Richland, you had Seneca Valley, you had North Allegheny all battling it out at the top of AAA for so long. So, I mean, there were years where, yes, they were getting stronger, solid, but they were able to grind and figure out what they needed to do to beat those teams and play teams like this. So this is just the culmination of that training, and Jeremy Church has been paying attention to all that over the last couple of years.
Church went to the Culver Academy in Indiana, one of the top prep schools for high school hockey. It's produced a lot of Division I NCAA players and an NHLer here and there, for that matter. Church, again, with his fourth full season on the horizon at Mount Lebanon after taking over the program late in the 2020-2021 campaign and leading them all the way to the Penguins Cup final.
And in all that, I haven't even mentioned Peters Township.
There you go. Now, we'll be seeing Peters Township soon, ushering in the Chris Claxon era. Speaking of coaching changes, as you noted earlier.
It's a different world, sir.
Very different. Lots of new teams in AAA, lots of new coaches around the league to get acquainted with, and it'll be here before we know it. In this one, 6-10 till the ice cut. Mount Lebanon trying to protect a 1-0 lead over Seneca Valley. As the Blue Devils play it near side, Conrarty dumps this puck around the boards. Carter Hone going after it defensively for the Raiders. Kyle Quigley chasing it down offensively for the Blue Devils. Hone has it behind his own goaltender. Playing it out in front to Cooper Hone. Up to Riffy. Morin cutting down the middle. It comes to Cooper Hone. Hone wide of goal. He was trying a little shot pass, I think, to Morin, and Morin did not anticipate.
It was a little high for the backhand that he was trying to get.
Quigley and Cooper Hone tied up along the far boards. Lehman in the thick of this puck battle for Lebo. It's kicked back to center. Played around Gwarek. Here comes Lehman down the right side. Volek giving chase for the Blue Devils. And a penalty coming up against Mount Lebanon as this goes off a Seneca Valley glove, that of Riffy, and play is whistled dead with 5 minutes left in the period. Josh Lehman, the guilty party, roughing the indication.
All right, now's the time for Seneca Valley.
Vince Cannella is racking up the saves and making the adage that your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer ring true. And Cannella will be put to work again as he talks things over with his defenseman before this face-off. Shin against Malichki. And that's good work by Shin. Arlett just beyond the reach of Maxwell and inside Raider ice. A misplay there by Maxwell as Shin is the man at the top of the penalty killing formation for the Blue Devils. Hewitt across the Mount Lebanon blue line, but it's sent back to center. Morin retrieves it. Raiders just barely get back on side. Hewitt hurrying to make that play. Carter Hone up to Maxwell. Maxwell looking for space. Maxwell through a crowd. Save made by Canella. I don't know how he saw that.
I don't think he did. I think it was a reactive drop.
Malichki in front for Morin. Morin, it's knocked aside by Canella. Canella, that puck still loose, and it was never covered, but Canella gets the quick whistle.
The official was on the opposite side behind him, and it rolled through. He thought he had it in his arm, and just as he went to start blowing the whistle, the puck rolled through the crease on the opposite side.
Again, the Blue Devils catching a break with 1:10 left in the minor penalty on Lehman.
It was an interesting setup as Seneca Valley was trying to bring the puck back from behind the goal lines. Mount Lebanon was set up in a 1-1-2. Bias was at center, and he just went to the side that the opportunity came to. And a lot of support from this Mount Lebanon defense.
This puck ricochets out in front off Canella, and Mount Lebanon gets a clear. Good work by Tran. Midway through the power play. Nichols settles it down for Maxwell.
I think that landed near our photographer, Jared Todd Hunter.
Follow him on social media at Todd Hunter Prods. Great to see Todd Hunter Productions in the building. They were photographing the round robin games a couple of weeks ago. Saw some great shots on the PIHL homepage. To center it comes. Sent deep by Eberhard of Mount Lebanon. Nichols leaves it behind his own cage, but turned it over. Blue Devils unable to get that puck quickly out in front, however. And no harm done as Hewitt brings it down the right side for Seneca Valley. Hewitt in the right circle. Hewitt at the side of the net. That pass broken up. Lehman gets that puck inside the Seneca Valley blue line. Final minute of second period play. Conrarty chasing Hewitt. Hewitt looking for this puck. Volek trying to tie up Hewitt along the boards. And Volek is able to, well, he puts it into the Seneca Valley bench erroneously. And so we'll face it off inside Blue Devils ice with half a minute to go. And we want to remind you that in 2 weeks, we drop the puck on regular season coverage of the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League. Again, we'll have more on that later as we're back to action for period 3. Carter Hone retreating as the Raiders move the puck from right to left. Tran in a delayed offside situation yields to Hewitt. Hewitt around the Mount Lebanon boards. Offerman in the corner. He's met by Morin. Carter Hone at center for defensive partner Maxwell. Krupp with a steal. Krupp top of the left circle. That shot deflected wide by Maxwell. Maxwell defensively for the Raiders. Up to Braden Morin. And around to the near side it'll come to Carter Hone. Krupp up to Zyolkowski. Zyolkowski, the only freshman on Jeremy Church's preseason roster. Gets this puck deep for the Blue Devils. It comes right out in front to Nichols as teams exchange pleasantries.
Who was that striking man doing the ringside broadcast? I didn't know him. I want to know that guy. No, I got back up here. That's the plight of doing this.
To the corner for Lane. Lane trying to go back out in front. The Raiders right there to cut off that puck as Myers' turnaround shot misses. Hewitt taken from behind by Caden Lane, and the Blue Devils go the other direction. Here's Meyer on goal. Meyer shooting wide of the near post.
That was one of those opportunities on a line change that they took advantage of again.
Hewitt, left wing side, trying to go to Riffey. Riffey has this puck. Off-balance shot, dribbles in on Canella. It would have been loose if Hewitt's stick hadn't been tied up, I believe, by Eberhard. Chance for the Blue Devils now. Long-range save made by Canella. Excuse me, by Nichols on the shot by Maxim. Maxwell in the corner. And near side it comes to Hewitt. Hewitt up for Riffey. 110 points last year playing with the Shaha Panthers travel team, and 22 points playing as a freshman for Jeremy Church. And he's got a big goal to extend the Blue Devils' lead. Raiders come right back, and they score! Anything you can do, I can do better. Marshall Hewitt entering the chat. And the Raiders still have lots of life. 12 seconds after the bias goal.
Was just a nice little come in, deke and dunk around Canella. Beautiful play. He absolutely fooled him on that forecheck opportunity there. Just flipped the stick around and just set it in behind. 2-1 now.
Hewitt's third goal in 2 games, his 6th of the preseason to take the Seneca Valley team lead. And we're right back to a 1-goal game. And there's not a darn thing Canella could have done about that one. That was just a gorgeous play by Hewitt, the Seneca Valley junior, and 20-goal man with the S-Mark Stars to get his team back in the game. And Hewitt has this puck again for Seneca Valley down the left side. Hewitt wide of the glove hand of Canella. Bailey dumps it into Mount Lebanon ice. Arlett chased by Hewitt as he plays this puck from Mount Lebanon, reverses it. Near side it comes from Lynham. Off the stick of Krupp, icing against Lebo.
And I think that's what you're both watching on this.
Mount Lebanon trying to protect a 1-goal lead all over again. Business picking up a bit in this third period. Hewitt with 9 minutes to go in regulation. Near side. 2-line pass intended for Morin is picked off by Tran. Carter Hone with it for Seneca Valley. Hone down the busy left wing. Dropping it back to Hewitt. Hewitt cross ice, one-timer, save made, Canella. This time he denies Bailey from 50 feet. Lynham from distance. That ricochets behind the Seneca Valley cage. Blue Devils completing a line change as Murtha has it for Seneca Valley. And he just wants to dump the puck and get off for a Raider line change. Curta to the corner. Powers goes after the dump in, but Nichols sends it around the boards. Eberhardt toward the goal. Cut off by the Raiders. Gwarek trying to get around Zalkowski. Zalkowski flips it toward Nichols, and that took a very strange bounce just wide of the net.
I don't think Nichols saw that bouncing that way.
He did not. I don't think any of us did, really. That was almost a very fluky goal for the Blue Devils, but in any event, it's back to center for Bailey. Offside, deep in their own end, but coming free is Murtha. Murtha hits the brakes deep in the corner. Murtha unable to get around Lane as he's tied up along the boards. Hallen providing support for Seneca Valley. And it comes free to Volek eventually. Back to center, CJ Gwarek. Gwarek with a nice move there. Gwarek, high slot on Canella, save made, rebound, score! Hit that horn, baby, let's dance! With 4:48 remaining, the Raiders have tied it at 2. Jamison Hallen, the Armstrong Arrow, with his first of the preseason, and it's kind of a big deal.
What did I say? Not the first shot, the second shot. You have to watch that, track that puck come back. Hallen snuck in behind the defender, and just a quick snapshot to the far post to put that one in for 4:48 remaining, and we have ourselves a brand new hockey game.
And so many of these players auditioning for regular season jobs. Hallen, a player who made his varsity debut last season around the Thanksgiving holiday in a game against rival North Allegheny, his only varsity appearance of last year, and scores a huge goal to get the Raiders even late in the third period here as Nichols makes a glove save. Now Hallen winning his audition, so to speak, so far.
Now you saw in the first period the chess pieces started to be put into place and trying to figure out each team's moves, see what's going on. Now you're starting to see those starting to happen. You watched the 2 goals by Seneca Valley, opportunities on open ice, shots on one-on-one with the goaltender, a rebound opportunity. On the opposite side, you're looking at Mount Lebanon. The shots that they had, second opportunities, finally broke through the defense. Maybe that quick pass got them. This is what you saw coming. I unfortunately took an under on one goal, so I'm going to just go eat my words and send it back to you on this one.
It's been quite a hockey game, as a championship game should be. And we thank our sponsors, Seneca Advisors, Mount Washington Shop and Save, Weight Loss Direct, Played Again Sports in Greensburg. And we encourage you, if you're a decision maker for your business or organization, to please consider sponsoring PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10-Band TV. We'll have regular season and playoff coverage October through March. 10-Band TV offers ad subscriptions for your business or organization for as little as $49 a month via Shop Pay. Cancel anytime, or you can build your own advertising package tailored to your own budget. Visit 10band.tv/advertise. Contact Todd, T-O-D-D, at 10bandproductions.com for more information, and enter the promo code TBTV-hockey at checkout for 10% off your first ad purchase. Tyler Masiska used his timeout in a 2-2 game with 4:27 to go in the third period, and now we resume play in Seneca Valley territory. A Groundhog Day scenario for Mount Lebanon. They were up 2-0 late against North Allegheny last week and had to prevail in the shootout, and they did, with Canella turning aside the Tigers. And Canella, the man in between the pipes for Mount Lebanon in this championship game tonight.
Well, you saw a little bit of a back and forth in that last play. Two teams just generally playing pong to fill each other out, see what's going on, and see what the play is and how they're setting up.
Maxwell threw a crowd. He scores! It was deflected in! Oh, the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune! It is John Soroka with 4:09 remaining. Giddy up!
Was just an innocent shot from the point, and Soroka he hit the stick out of his hand on that play. It was one of those, just everything lined up perfectly for Seneca Valley.
2:03 remaining. Seneca Valley, 3 unanswered goals to take the lead in this third period. Hewitt, Hallen, and John Soroka III, the junior forward, with the go-ahead marker. Hallen around the boards. Nikolaski from his own zone. Over the outstretched hand of Krupp, who got the scoring started for Mount Lebanon back in period 2. Lynham off balance and on goal, and Nichols will play it conservatively. And Brian Mitchell going to go downstairs and bias up to Griffin Krupp for Kurta. Kurta toward goal. Malitsky put that off his own man. Riffy has it. Riffy for the empty net. Pay the man, Shirley. "50 ticks to talk." Seneca Valley Raiders 4, Mount Lebanon Blue Devils 2. The S-Mark star with his first of the preseason into the empty cage. What a comeback in this third period by Tyler Masiska's old alma mater. And so it appears for another year, those 06 Bethel Park Blackhawks will not have company. The St. Margaret Fall Faceoff title is going to stay in the North Hills, as Masiska's Seneca Valley Raiders have finished the job from 2023. Down 2-0 in period 3. They lead 4-2 with 20 seconds remaining. Slap shot from the right point, cranked by Murtha, deflects back to center. Garvin retreating. 5 seconds left Caden Lane at the blue line, 3 seconds. That's it, and that's all. Hockey hugs ×2 for Christopher Nichols. The Seneca Valley Raiders are your 2024 St. Margaret Fall Face-Off champion as they rally to defeat the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils here at the Ice Castle by a final score of 4-2. And congratulations to Tyler Masiska's Raiders once again, and to Jeremy Church's Blue Devils on one heck of a final contest. Seneca Valley, a team we're going to be seeing a lot more of in 24-25, and we could say the same about the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils. Mount Lebanon has come a long way after some lean years. As the handshake line commences, we'll have the trophy presentation, and we'll be going downstairs eventually to Brian Mitchell, who will speak with the victorious Raiders. An 18-save W for Christopher Nichols, the Seneca Valley junior. 45 saves in all tonight in both elimination games. And this a hard-earned victory for he and his club. PIHL President Jack Kukin standing inside the officials' crease for the trophy presentation.
How do you feel, what did you feel about in that third period as Seneca Valley just kept adding and adding and adding, getting another opportunity?
I think it all started, Brian, with the quick response and the fact that they not only got that first goal from Hewitt, but got it so quickly after Xavier Bias had scored from Mount Lebanon was what kind of ignited the fire for Seneca Valley, and the Raiders were just a different team from then on.
I'm going to be proud of how we go down 2 in the third, and we just stuck with it. I think the next shift we respond with a goal, and we just kind of went from there, so the momentum was huge.
Going into the regular season, that AAA division is going to be supercharged this year. I know you weren't there last year, but you probably were paying attention a little bit as everybody was. It's not going to be an easy game at any given time. What can you say about that and what you got to look forward to this season?
The league is just what you said. It's tight. There's a lot of parity from top to bottom. There's not going to be an easy night in AAA, and that's what I told these guys before the St. Clair game was, this is a test to see what we have, and I think we passed that test pretty good. So I'm looking forward to the year. It's going to be fun. We'll enjoy this night, and then it's right back to work. Get ready for game 1.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Good luck this season. All right, hey, Matt Popchalk, back up to you to close it out, my man.
Thank you, Brian Mitchell, and thank you, Coach Masiska. Well, a couple of years ago, Andrew Cease, as a first-year coach at a neighboring North Hills school, North Allegheny, won his first ever St. Margaret Fall Faceoff. Made a pretty good first impression. Tyler Masiska's made a pretty good first impression, too, in his first preseason on the job. Seneca Valley Raiders 4, Mount Lebanon Blue Devils 2. Once again, Seneca Valley, their 6th all-time St. Margaret Fall Faceoff title and first since 2016. The Raiders, 2023 finalists, 2024 champions, as the comeback is indeed complete. And Seneca Valley coming off that 15-win regular season in 23-24, looking for bigger and better things in 24-25. Thank you, executive producer Todd Kazarowski. Thank you, Michael Lyman and the Four Seasons. Thank you, Brian Mitchell. Thank you, Austin McLean. Thank you, Jack Kukin. Thank you, Kennedy Kazarowski. Thank you, Jared Todd Hunter. And thank you for watching and listening. Once again, we will see you back at Barrel, the Ice Complex in Warrendale, Thursday, October 3rd, 9:10 p.m., the regular season premiere of PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV, featuring the Peters Township Indians and Pine Richland Rams. Until then, I'm Matt Popchalk, and that is all she wrote for the 2024 St. Margaret Fall Faceoff here from the Ice Castle in Castle Shannon. Raiders 4, Blue Devils 2. You've been watching PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save.